Okay, great. So, I'm so excited today to host Isa, which is an expert in real estate, and he's an amazing entrepreneur with lots of success, lots of experience. And today's talk will be about business, entrepreneurship, marketing. So stay tuned. It's full of information, it's full of experience. It's so rich. We're having this amazing guest, Isa. And by the way, I have an amazing announcements to do today. So stay tuned for the surprise end of the webinar. So ready, Isa? Okay, great.
Excellent. I'm
Uh, Isa, can you a little bit introduce us about yourself and a little bit talk about yourself? What do you do? And give us a little bit of history and brief about yourself.
definitely. So I'm Isa. Really privileged to be on this podcast today, taking part in this event. It's a great honor, so thank you for hosting me on it. And hopefully it's the first of many to come as well.
Yes.
A brief history of myself. I'm based in the UK, in London. I'm a property professional. I've got 16 years worth of experience within the industry. In that time, I've dealt with some celebrities, some VIPs. I don't know if there's any footballers or football fans in the chat that may appreciate it, but I've done business with the likes of Frank Lampard in the past. I don't know how popular the girl band group Girls Aloud may be in the Middle East, but they're quite big in Europe. I've sold some assets to them as well. And within my career, I calculated it, funny enough, the other day. I've just gone in excess of £100 million worth of assets within my career.
Wow. Great.
So yeah, that was a real big landmark when I worked that out, because at my age, I'm 33 years old, going to be 34 this year. I sat back, and we very rarely pat ourselves on our backs for our accomplishments. And I think for 30 odd years old, and bearing in mind I've only been in the industry for a fraction of my life, I was pleased with that. We've come a long way, and we've still got a long way to go. But it's built up a vast array of tools within my arsenal to just assist people within the dynamics of the property industry within the UK.
Okay, great, excellent. So Isa, you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, I try to be. I think we all try. We
Yeah, I
stay
know how
humble.
it feels. So that's why. Are you happy to be an entrepreneur? How do you feel about it? And do you face challenges? While
I think
especially, we are a different market. So we are in GCC and you're in UK. Do you have challenges, especially being an entrepreneur in real estate? How is it? How do you feel? What's going on there?
I think that when we talk about challenges, just to digress slightly, I think challenges come in all shapes and forms. Even at the beginning of this podcast, we face a challenge, and I think the minerals that create an entrepreneur are the ability to be able to adapt. Life is constantly going to give you challenges, and in many different religions and many different faiths, whether it be God, whether it be the universe, something will load you up with these. I think it's a characteristic. So in terms of being an entrepreneur, I would be bold enough to possibly say it's not just a title, it's a lifestyle. Because it gets you everywhere. So with it, overcoming things that are within your control, some that aren't. At this moment in time, the UK housing market is I think economically across the world post-COVID, it's a very different place to what it was before. But the UK especially, it's faced its challenges. We're going through a correction period within the marketplace. But I think, again, the lifestyle of being an entrepreneur, when things are down, when the chips are down, when everybody's, running for shelter, our minds see opportunity. And I think every dark day is guaranteed to be met by a sunshine the next morning. So fundamentally, housing market isn't doing great. Interest rates have risen. The cost of living is a pandemic or a crisis in itself in the UK at the moment. But we're resilient. Things are going, they've slowed down. We've just got to assess the market and see where there's opportunity. And there's a saying that speculation leads to further investment. And I think that there's always opportunity, and there's great opportunities at this moment in time. If anybody would like to kind of discuss it in a lot more detail, I'm more than happy to kind of potentially do a chat or another podcast where we can go really into the details of the opportunities that I potentially see that this marketplace arises. But I say we'll do that on another one, because I think I could have you here all night talking about that topic alone.
Yeah, I think whoever is interested in knowing about these real estate and business opportunities in UK, we can arrange a session with Isa, so you can have more depth knowledge about it. You just contact us on WhatsApp, the same number that we send you the details, and we're going to send you Isa's contact so you can have a session. So interesting. We have people from different places. By the way, I had lots of people even from the banking industry contacting us after seeing this broadcast or let's say a webinar, and they're interested about knowing more. Okay, so being an entrepreneur, okay, as you said, it's a mixture of so many things, and we face different challenges. What makes a person entrepreneur? How do you define yourself being an entrepreneur? What is it that we need to do to be sure that we are practicing entrepreneurship properly? Can you share your experience at least?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very, very good question. And I dare say, as a mere mortal, I'm not the best one to answer it indefinitely, but I'll give you my opinion on it. That's for sure.
Your experience is amazing. Go ahead.
So I think it's a mindset. And I think the mindset can be nurtured from many different aspects of life. But I think fundamentally, sometimes it's in your blood as well. Sometimes I think, there's a certain element of that which comes through. It's within your characteristics. When you were designed, when you were made, I think there's something in these special people.
It's interesting. So entrepreneurship is part of your DNA. It's something you're born with.
Opinion,
yeah,
I believe so. I genuinely believe that. And the reason I say that is because, to my knowledge, I think working off the back of a global statistic, I think only 2% of the globe fall under the category of being entrepreneurs. And when you break that down, that comes down to an unwavering commitment or a fire in your belly to be resilient and to be resistant, to, not have a problem with hearing no, to not having a problem to dealing with failure, not having that pride.
I like that. Not having problem with dealing with no, dealing with failure. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think a lot of that, in my personal opinion, I think being a salesperson and being an entrepreneur is slightly different. I think a lot, again, I don't mean to, this is my personal opinions, I don't mean to offend anyone out there.
Okay.
But in my personal experience, I've managed quite large teams in the past, and one common denominator I found between a lot of top performing salespeople is a desire to meet people's expectations. They don't like to, I suppose it breaks down to a form of insecurity for a salesperson. And the reason I think that some salespeople don't make it as great entrepreneurs is because their insecurities, their fear of no, their fear of rejection stops them at their first hurdle sometimes. I've seen some, I think we had a very, very good detailed chat about this. I think it was last week, about, people get into their comfort zone. Especially good salespeople, they hit the heights, they can hit the lows, they need to readjust, and then they come back. Whereas an entrepreneur, I think, self-checks themselves. There's something inside of their DNA that they don't need a manager to tell them, you need to do this and you need to do that. They sit with their thoughts, and their minds can be a blessing and a curse sometimes as well, because I think many entrepreneurs spend so much time in here.
Okay. I totally understand. Okay. It's a blessing and a curse. Go ahead.
It can be, and I think it's a case of having that resilience, that unwavering desire to achieve what is possible in your head. But to the masses, sometimes it can come across as absolute craziness, because they can't see the vision. That's why I think some of the skills that we've got are gifted to us, whether it be from God, whether it be from the universe. I think it was a gift that was given that we are here to deliver on. And we get it wrong. You know, we make many mistakes, you know, but there's something inside of us that says, hit the reset button and keep going.
Excellent. True, true. You mentioned something really amazing. There is difference between being an entrepreneur and being a salesperson. Can you a little bit define those difference?
So in my personal opinion, I think again, I don't mean to offend anyone. This is just my opinion, but a salesperson a traditional salesperson, in my experience, is very insecure, and they tend to be slightly more a selfish or a closed mindset. You know, they're investing their time for a reward. They're exchanging their time for money. And I think an entrepreneur has something inside of them where they understand it's not about what I can get out of this. Yes, we will do very well and we will be successful because we take on challenges that we're passionate about. But in my personal experience, I take on challenges because I'm devoted through my passion. So in a roundabout way, by me taking care of other people and doing good for other people, my reward, which is given to me by God or the universe, is my commissions that I would receive. But it comes from a place that is quite selfless. It's a desire to help and improve a company, an individual, an organization, a community, a country, or the world. You know, we want to make positive change. And I think, again, that's why, you know, some of the great salespeople are great managers, but put them behind the wheel of a business and, you know, they haven't got the right mindset. Their vision isn't aligned with their morals, and their morals may not be coming from a place of extremely trying to make something positive, trying to do something good, trying to create positive change, inspiring people, helping people. And I think that's a lot of entrepreneurs are only too happy to help if they've got the time. And if they haven't, they will try to make the time, but they won't invest in fools because they've been around the block, if that makes sense.
Okay, great. So, you know, sales is a very important and critical skill that an entrepreneur needs to master. Yeah.
Yes.
An entrepreneur, as you said, you define entrepreneurship really beautifully. So it's more wide and universal than being specific and selling something and having a deadline and just being close to one thing. So entrepreneurship is about value and growing and innovating and again adding more value to the world and people. What sell is specifically closing a deal, so something else.
Agreed.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit? You know, as I said, being an entrepreneur, you need to master sell. If you have an idea, you need to sell it. You have something valuable if you want to give to product or services, you need to sell it. So can you give us a little bit tip about a little bit sales skills? What are those important sales skills?
I personally feel that the greatest foundation a salesman could have is honesty. There's a saying, you can sell a good salesman can sell ice to an Eskimo. An ethical salesman would not do that because they don't need that service. They're surrounded by snow. So I think that the dynamics of a good salesman comes from a very clear and noble cause. But then in my personal experience, I think selling comes down to being able to communicate very well. You know, if you've got a pure heart and a good product and something that someone's going to benefit from, the word selling isn't actually what 90% of people think it is, in my opinion. You're just explaining by communicating the benefits that your service can provide to that individual or their business. It's, in my opinion, not a rocket science. There's no magic cure to it. You know, if you're genuinely, if somebody's looking for a car, for example, or we can go to a house. If you're looking for a 2-bedroom apartment, you know, I've had many applicants that have come through, and there's a double-ended coin to this, which I'll go through afterwards. But if I've got an applicant that's got a budget that can meet a 1-bedroom apartment, but they want a 2-bedroom apartment, the first thing I need to do is assess what is their desire to achieve something that's out of their remits. Is it because they've got a young child and they need more than 1 bedroom? They're not just a young couple or first-time buyer starting off their career or starting off their journey. Do they have expectations of grandeur? Are they living on a different planet and they need to be educated to put them in line with what is possible? Once I know what they're looking for, what their desire is, I can then establish the best way to communicate with this individual to assist them on their journey. So if it's, for example, we've got an applicant that's got the budget of a 1-bedroom apartment, but they need 2 bedrooms because they've just had a baby and they'd like a bit of space, or they need an office. We can look for an apartment that has a small study, a temporary fix that's affordable and going to make their dreams come into reality for a year or two. And I would explain the fact that the budget isn't there. So we've got, in reality, 2 options. You work with your budget, or you come back and you increase your budget. So which one of them is suitable to you right now? Can you speak to family? Can you speak to friends? Can you get a raise at work? Can you potentially change your job? If none of them are an option, then, and you need to move, we need to try and make the best out of your situation. So this is why we're here.
So great. I love what you just said. If we're going to conclude it, I work with lots of companies in different countries, and once I sit with the marketing department or even the sales department, I realize, they don't understand the core value of each operation. So what you said is what I agree also, which is I define marketing and sell, which completes each other, which is marketing is education, educating the value that you're providing, educating people or creating awareness. What are those problems? What are those threats? What are the pains that they're having by not having these values? And what are the solutions that you're providing? What value you're giving them so they can achieve and grow and live better? And sales is paying money, it's taking action. Okay, so if a person got educated, they will take better action. So it's all about facilitating learning. It's learning and education and communication. As much as you believe in your product and services, as much as you can deliver it better, as much as you have more confidence, as much as you will communicate it, as much as you will help them, as much as you can fix their problem. But again, education is not only cramming information, but it's also about understanding other people's mindset, needs, desire, where they're coming from, what are the problems, and then you facilitate what's going on. So these are really beautiful, amazing. Isa, we have only 5 minutes left. We have 5 minutes. Okay. And
just to go back, just on a quick point from what we just said, being a good salesman and a good communicator to people like us who are interested in sales, interested in entrepreneurship, who really have a vested interest in this, will come across a great salesman and say that was a great salesman. But I think a lot of salespeople need to remember they're dealing with the public who don't appreciate skills. So the better you can communicate, use your marketing and customer service, they will come back to you in the future because they'll say that guy was a good guy. I want to do business with him in the future. So I think that the ABC, always be closing approach of the 90s is redundant. Now the ABC is always be charming. Because we can
be
work.
Charming. Yep. Be charming. Amazing. Yeah.
Definitely. So, sorry, continue.
And yeah, a big part of education, big part of selling is emotional. And as much as people love you and love them, and I mean, we human beings are emotional buyers. As much as they synchronize with their feelings, values, they're comfortable about it, they're charmed, as much as they will take action. So great. Isa, finally, as I said, I have an announcement that I would love to share, and I have a surprise end of this webinar. Isa, real estate in UK. Real estate. I have some people that are interested to know more about the business in UK. What do you offer?
So in terms of it, I'm a specialist in giving advice to maximize future investments for individuals. So I can work with an individual on a project, sourcing a deal, closing a deal, and then further managing a deal up until we get to the exit strategies. So with it, I'm a consultant on that basis, and I can basically be the bridge between ourselves and the Middle East. And really, there's great opportunities at this moment in time. You know, this is the perfect storm to make money, and this only comes around every 8 to 10 years in the UK. You want to buy when prices are down, because if there's one thing that the UK housing market always does, is it comes back with a vengeance. So it's a really good question. I don't have enough time to answer it correctly in 5 minutes, but you know, as we said, entrepreneurs see opportunity in crisis, and right now the opportunities are to the sky, with the right vision and the right advice. So if anyone would like to take advantage of that and speak to me in a bit more detail, more than happy to do, you know, another webinar or take some personal calls and give the right advice on that basis.
Great. Anyone who wants to have a session with Isa, so Isa is offering a one-to-one session. So we're ready to facilitate that for you. Just contact us on the WhatsApp and we will connect you with Isa. Q&A time. So we have a few minutes left, or 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. And if you have any questions, so go ahead and please. Mahmoud Ghalib has a question. By the way, Mahmoud is interesting. He's an amazing entrepreneur, amazing guy, beautiful character. So he has a question here. Are there UK investors interested to invest in the region, which is in the GCC, Bahrain, or anywhere else in the region, especially in the hospitality sector?
With it, I specialize in the kind of UK housing market itself. I do know that through some of my colleagues who are experts in that field, there is a lot of investment that does go overseas from individuals over here. It's not my area of expertise, but yes, it does happen. You know, I know the individual I'm speaking about does a lot of work with Dubai. He does sell a lot of properties off plan from here in Dubai. And I believe that Saudi is becoming very popular for that type of investment at this moment in time as well. So yes, the answer is 100% yes. I'm not the expert in that field, but I can put you through to associates that can potentially give further advice on that.
Yeah, I was interesting. I was meeting the ambassador of the Egyptian in Bahrain here, and amazingly, we were discussing about the amount of investments that's happening in Egypt, and most country actually is investing in Egypt, which is the toughest rank. Was not Emirates, was not Saudi, was UK. Okay,
wow.
UK was especially in the real estate sector. So there are lots of UK British investments are doing in the region a lot. One of them is in Egypt. Another place also, which is in Dubai. So in Dubai, yes, you will see, most of the investors are Indians, then Persian, then Russians, and lots of Chinese also now are coming and investing, and even Saudis, and even regions. But again, big chunk is coming out from Europe, especially from UK. So yeah, so that's a little bit of sharing my experience here. Okay, we have 1 minute exactly left. So let's conclude this. We have 1 minute exactly left. So the announcement is, me and Isa look like each other. Why? He's my brother. Okay. So my announcement is Isa is my brother. So brother,
yeah,
have you? Yep. So we
thank you.
And that's a big surprise. I have a brother which is British and he's from UK. So great.
Definitely, and that's one we can talk about again in